All right. A little bit early, but I'm going to go into this screen for a second that does not show the game. Um, I've decided that I don't know how long this case is, but I said I was going to finish this game when I tweeted today. So we're finishing this game today, and I have no idea how long that's going to take. So let's take a break for a second, and I'll give the stream a little treat by giving the kitties some little treats. Uh-huh. Oh. 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 We definitely want some treats. All right, all right, all right. Here. Treats, 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 treats. Right. Next. Here, Sophie. Gosh, so fat. Here. Here you go, Mana. Uther. There are still treats down there on the floor. I see them. That girl. There you go, Otter. Sophie, did you already body all of those treats? Oh my goodness. Chickens. I like chickens. Ooh. There you go. All right. Everybody's had their treats. Excellent. All right. Sophie, excuse me. Looks like my phone was ringing. Actually, nice little break there. Give me a second. My mom just called, so since I'm about to do this really crazy long stream, let me make sure that she doesn't need something before I start. All right. Oh my goodness. I am so sorry about that. The longest break in the history of breaks. I love how I'm like, I'm going to get this done no matter what, and then I immediately take like a 15-minute break. It's okay. I needed to make that phone call, and I needed to talk to my mother, so that's more important. Sorry, y'all. Love you. Mean it, but that's more important. So, now I gotta figure out where the hell I'm supposed to go. I wasn't thinking about it. So, right. Let's see. But don't I have new things? This lost item report. I still want to give Officer Marshall this steak dinner, and I can't find him anywhere. What to do? The mystery of the victim. Da 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 da. We should go to the police department evidence room. It was all that business with him not reading the officer's report about the killing at the police department. The chief of police was right about that, but I can't help but think someone at the police department doesn't like Edgeworth. And it's the chief of police. Alright, well, they're like, go to the evidence room, go to the evidence room. Do I have the option to move into the evidence room from here? I don't. Did I miss something in here? Maybe, maybe not. I don't think so. What is this button? The flush all of the videos button? That seems terrifying and not good. Card reader. I already looked at that because that's part of the door. Alright. I have no idea if anyone is still with me. I did abandon everyone for like 15 minutes. It's got to be something we haven't presented to him. But I can't find a Gumshoe. He went to find a steak lunch. Are you still here? Okay. That's cool. I kind of just vanished for a while, so. I mean, maybe we have to go to the parking lot and the lady will give us another lunch. You give that to Jake like I asked, won't you? Yeah, you and Officer Marshall, are you going out? We're cooperating. Oh, that's not what I meant to do. Oh, I can examine it. Let's see. Ingredients, meat. She must mean beef. She probably just wrote it generically. Yeah. Let's hope so. Of course, as a scientist, I have to check what additives she used. Go to town. Huh? It says here, hours of sweat and labor. So that's why the sauce is so salty. This looks like a shoe. Wow, my mouth is watering. I can almost hear the sound of steak frying in the grill. No doubt it's all cold and tough by now. No, I'm sure it's delicious. Miss Star poured her heart into making this. So long as she didn't put any other organs in there. Looks like a shoe. Chips. Alright. Alright, from here, you know, the detention center parking lot, or the detention center. I have no idea what that is. Maybe you should ask Mr. Edgeworth. Takes a special kind of man to pass the buck to Edgeworth. When in doubt, show him the badge. Officer Meekins, have a look at this. Go ahead, sir. Laugh. Laugh at me, sir. When in doubt, show him the badge. Haha. Huh? I know what you want to say. You're gonna tell me how she has one just like it. Me? Why would I know, sir, I know. I'm the only one without a girl with matching badges. Nowhere, I'm alone, all alone. Is that so wrong? Life isn't all about high school sweethearts and youthful romance, sir. Is he talking about those badges on her coat? I'd like to think there's a difference between my badge and a fashion accessory. Was worth it. Didn't get us anywhere. 100% worth it. Oh, I wonder if the chief of police would tell us about the, Oh, we just have to ask. God damn it. Actually, I was wondering if I could ask you a favor. Well, I never thought the day would come when Wright asked me for help. I was wondering if we could investigate the evidence room? I don't think he's gonna say yes. Now, Righto. Actually, I'm sorry, I don't need to investigate after all. Righto, please. Do I look like a selfish man? Huh? Heck, if anyone asked me, sir, can I borrow $50? I'd give them $50, no problem. So go ahead, investigate that room to your heart's content. Knock yourself out. It just goes to show you never know until you ask. And for you here, you can borrow this. Huh? Hey, this is a detective's ID card, isn't it? That's a special card for guests, so don't lose it. Yes, sir, it's an honor. You just run along and do your best now. Later, folks. Very suspicious. It looks pretty cool on my lapel, doesn't it? Just think, a real ID. You seem happy. Yes, sir, because, sir, we get to go into the evidence room now, sir. I think this place is a bad influence on the girl. To the evidence room. Maybe we can give him a steak now. Nope. Da 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 da. The evidence room is beyond that door. And we have the ID card from Chief Gant. Let's just walk in. It won't open. Aha! The card reader's turned off, see? What is that security guard thinking? Howdy, partners. Well, well, what's made my Bambina skies so gray? God, here he is again. Officer Marshall! Why does it have to be him? Why, what's that? Why does it have to be him look for? As you may have surmised, this here's my saloon. Tell you what, if my superior officer, if I was a superior officer and I saw one of my lower officers getting whiskers all over the floor because he's constantly picking at his face with a knife, I'd be like, stop it. Just stop. We're here to investigate the crime scene. ... Yeehaw! That card you got there on your chest. That's better than the sheriff's badge in these parts. Yeehaw! Well, what you standing there for? Get along, little doggies. The crime scene's awaiting. Beep. Looks like the card reader's on again. While we're here, I was wondering if we could ask you some questions. Sorry, cowboy, but I got no mind to tangle with you hombres. You're busy then? Did I say that? I only said I didn't wish to speak with you. Actually, you said you had no mind to tangle with us hombres. It's okay, we'll give you a steak. Wait, are you hungry? Bop! That smell. Ah, reminds me of Texas. So, Officer Marshall, you're from Texas? No. We were told. He's from LA. No, I just saw a special on television the other day. Is this from my baby? Yeah, Miss Starr. What's this? What? What's wrong? A filet steak lunch? I see. I see. I don't see. I wonder what it means. Steak lunch given to Officer Marshall. Alright, Bambina, you win. Ask anything. Finally, it seems like he's willing to talk. He's willing to talk because we gave him a steak. And I bet the steak is code that we're working on SL9. Officer Marshall, you're in charge of security for the evidence room, right? You got good eyes, partner. I don't know. Shoes. Maybe. It's an easy job, and I'm grateful for it. Actually, Officer Meekins at the detention center told us. Aw, that poor little doggy. Poor guy. I keep getting his name wrong and calling him Meekly. He told us something. He said that when the stabbing occurred, you weren't at your station. Well, maybe I shouldn't be telling you this. But since I got demoted from detective 2 years ago, well, it might not look it, but I lost my fire for the job, you know? So, what were you doing around 5:15 when the murder took place? Well, I reckon I was galloping down the highway on the back of my steed, Zippy. Note, he was riding down the highway on his horse named Zippy. There's no need for people here, anyhow. These newfangled machines do a bang-up job of keeping an eye on the place. You mean the security camera system? I don't take to machines much. Kinda like that stewed broccoli they sneak in next to your steak, you know? I mean, we're gonna be like, can I look at the security tapes? Because, like, why is this still a question if there are security tapes? And why did it take a while for them to arrest the dude? Miss Starr told us something. That steak did look like a shoe. She said that you were a detective until 2 years ago. It was always my dream to be a rawhide wrangler on the scene of the crime. That's all gone now, like a drinking hole in a prairie fire. You're still investigating the SL9 incident with Miss Starr, aren't you? That was my case. It's all solved on the record books, but it smells like a bad game of poker. I can't let it go. That's all there is to it. What kind of case was it anyway? We've heard the name so many times, but no one tells us what actually happened. ... There are some things you're better off not knowing, Bambina. Anyway, that case is officially dead as of 2 days ago. 2 days ago? The day of our case? That's right. The evidence transfers. Edgeworth was talking about the transferals too. Alright. I know what maybe 2 of the machines in here do. Only 2 of them? There must be a dozen. Like I said, Bambina, me and machines, well, I like them about as much as I like stewed cauliflower with my steaks. The easiest ones to understand are these here security cameras. Those are the ones that Officer Meekins mentioned. If nothing happens, the tapes are automatically erased every few hours. And Officer Meekins and Detective Goodman, are they on one of those tapes? I reckon they might be. You're the security guard and you reckon? One more thing. When you go into the evidence room, you need an ID card. Thus, the card reader by the door. The card reader leaves a record of every ID card that passes through. So this is the ID card room. Card record. Okay, so here's Goodman's number. Where's my mouse? Here's Goodman's number. 584-2189 at 5:14. That is a lot of 7s. That, to me, I feel like the 7s like that, that's a guest card. That's what that looks like to me. Hey, I've seen that somewhere before. Sorry, Bambina, I can't show you more than that. Or an admin, yeah. Huh? I haven't heard whether this is related to the case yet. Mr. Wright, I saw a number on that record just now. I've seen that number before. Maybe there's some way I can prove that record is tied to the stabbing. There is. Let's talk about evidence transferal for a second. Sorry, but could you explain what this whole transferal thing is about? We keep only evidence from solved cases in this room. They're kept here under the presiding detective's supervision for 2 years. So we can reinvestigate them if it turns out there was a mistake, see? So what happens to the evidence after 2 years? It goes to sleep forever in the underground vault at the county sheriff's department. That's what we call transferal. We do it every February. See now, transferal is like a funeral for old cases. 2 years after a case is solved, it's closed forever. Dead. Never to be reopened again. Never to be reinvestigated. And that happened to SL9 2 days ago. Alright. We will present... What is it we wanted to... Oh, it was the ID card. See this? This is the victim's ID card. Ah, the one that was on the ground in the parking lot. The number on this is 584-2189. Officer Marshall, show us that ID card record again. Look, the 4th number, it's a perfect match. It was used at 5:14, right before the stabbing. What's more, there's only one of them cards in the world. So when the incident occurred, Detective Goodman was in the evidence room. But wait, what did Officer Meekins say? Sir, I entered the evidence room and asked the man to display his ID card. So you asked Detective Goodman to show his ID card. What did he do? That's the thing. Suddenly he pointed a knife at me. If he had his ID card then, why would he have pointed a knife at Officer Meekins? All right, compadre, you win. I guess I can give you this ID card record. ID card record. Everybody who entered the evidence room on 221. I would like to point out as well. I've got an idea. Hold on. Hold on, Phoenix. I would like to also point out that this autopsy report does not say that he died at 5:15. This autopsy report says he died within an hour and a half of 4 p.m. There are 3 other entries before his an hour and a half. So, from 4 p.m. to 5:30. That's an hour and a half. There are 3 other entries before his to this vault. He could have already been dead by then. Like, totally could already have been dead. I just don't... Yeah, I don't... I don't think it's before or after. I think it's... Oh, I guess it could be with before or after, because it's within an hour and a half. It doesn't necessarily mean it's after 4 p.m. It could also be before. That is a big range. But anyway, there are other entries on that ID card log going into the records room. And actually, the first one is the one we're not sure about because it might be admin or guest. And then the other two are within 10 minutes of each other. Yeah, and Lana was like, it happened at 5:15. Like, everybody's being really, really adamant about 5:15 for some reason. And that makes it extremely sus that it has anything to do with 5:15. All right. Anyway, I've got an idea. Maybe I should show this list to other people with IDs here. Ooh, because then we can find out other people's ID numbers. See Gumshoes, and we can show it to him. Sheriffs back in the Wild West didn't place much faith in evidence. About the only thing they trusted was their shooting hand. This is neither Wild nor West here. Aha, but that and this are two different things entirely. I guess so, huh? I'm lost. Looks like we need some evidence to get anywhere with this guy. Alright. Alright, so... Ooh. Turn my mouse off because my mouse is dying, apparently. Okay. So let's move. Let's move to the evidence room. Evidence room, sector 3. It's quiet. The investigation must be over here. So this is the evidence room? It really is kind of like a graveyard. Graveyards are supposed to have grass and trees. This feels more like a morgue. Nice try, Mr. Wright. You can't scare me. Oh, hey, Gumshoe. Yeah. Whoa! Did she just clock him? Sorry, I thought you were a ghost. I wouldn't recommend going around smacking ghosts on the head, pal. So, is it true what I heard? Righto, please, do I look like a selfish man? Heck, if anyone asked me, sir, can I borrow $50, I'd give them $50, no problem. So go ahead, investigate that room to your heart's desire. Knock yourself out. Yeah, it's true. So Chief of Police Gant will loan anyone $50? Even me? Oh, so that's what you were talking about. Actually, I was put in charge of the investigation for today. Just for today? Boss for a day? But guess what? You got permission from the chief, so now you're boss for a day. Gee, thanks. First of all, you'll want to have this. Evidence room floor plan. Scene of the stabbing of a detective at the PD. Okay. Alright, first, I want to look at that. Show me. Show me what this is. I want to look at that. Okay. So if I show it to him... Will he fill it out for me? Allow me to say one thing, speaking as a detective. If I see a piece of evidence I know nothing about, I say nothing. That's fine. You bet it's fine, pal. Oh, okay. Oh, well, okay. Your ID card. Could you take a look at this? This is the ID card record of the people who came in here on the day of the stabbing. Ah, I heard the rumors. So it was Goodman who came in here at the time of the murder. Whoa! What is it? That second number. It's not your ID number, is it, Detective Gumshoe? Mr. Edgeworth. That's Edgeworth's number? What? The second number on this list belongs to Mr. Edgeworth. What? Okay. Okay. I don't believe that because he was doing an award ceremony. Wait. It's actually impossible. I think it's impossible. It's impossible. And I can show you. Hold on. Why would Edgeworth have come to the evidence room? So here's why it's impossible. That's 4:40 p.m. He entered this room. We have established that this room is 30 minutes away from the prosecutor's office. So that means he had to have entered this room and then left this room and gotten in his car and headed toward the prosecutor's office in the space of 2 minutes. Because it takes 30 minutes to drive to the prosecutor's office. And this parking, I was asked earlier if we'd use the parking stub. This stub is what is going to tie in that Edgeworth wasn't there, and that it was a frame job. More people trying to make Edgeworth look bad. Again. Anyway, that's crazy. All right. Let's see what this is. You know. Nope, you don't know about it. Okay, that's fine. All right, we want to look at that actually. ID 5. No. Wait, why would he write his own? Why would he write his own ID number wrong and then scratch it out? He would know his ID number. That's extremely sus, actually. All right. So, talk to me about this SL9 thing. Detective Goodman's note and that switchblade knife. I bet Edgeworth was the most surprised of anyone because of the SL9 connection. That was Mr. Edgeworth's first big case, you know, 2 years ago. Of course it was. That was the first time the world knew Edgeworth was a man to be feared. But why would evidence from that case turn up now? I guess it's not over, pal. Maybe there are some loose ends left on that case. You got something to tell me about? You do. Alright, so let's start here. So, Detective Gumshoe, you're a boss for the day? That's right. It's an honor. After all, the murder took place right here in the police department. But if you're boss, why are you all alone? Where are your underlings? ... They're using yesterday's findings to prepare for tomorrow's trial. In other words, you got kicked out of the investigation. Again. I'm adamant, though. I'm going to take control and put this case to rest. In my own evidence locker, pal. You have a locker in here, too, Detective Gumshoe? Haha, of course. I am a detective, after all. They gave me a locker that only I can open, pal. Only you can open? I'll always believe in Mr. Edgeworth, no matter what happens. So, Mr. Edgeworth is with the inquiry committee now, right? They're trying to figure out who's responsible for the mess-up in court today. I see. I guess this is what you call fate. Mr. Edgeworth just can't get away from that case. That case? Yeah, that case. The SL9 incident, of course. That was the beginning and the end for Mr. Edgeworth. Maybe we can get him to tell us more about the case. First, tell me about evidence lockers that no one can open but you. This place is more high-tech than you might think. Every locker is fixed so that only one detective can open it. Using their ID card? Well, that's the thing, pal. ID cards can be lost. Why, I'm on my 3rd card since entering the force already. That sounds like a lot. Yeah, but even I can't lose my own right hand. Right hand? Oh, you mean your fingerprint? Exactly, pal. The lock for each locker is coded with a fingerprint. So the only locker we can open is our own. Funny, they look like normal lockers. These are the latest model. There's a trick to the handles, see? The handles? On the other side of the handles is a sensor, and if the wrong person touches it, you get a shock. If that's what happened, my hand would be black and smoking every day. In any case, the locks aren't that obvious. There are even some people on the force that don't know about the fingerprint locks. That is going to be an interesting piece of information, and I bet it's going to help us in the trial. Only assigned detectives' prints can unlock it. Indicator lamp lights up when it's open. Okay. SL9. Now that was a bloody, violent case. Violent. So it was a murder? A serial killing. A serial killing. Maybe I don't want to get involved in this after all. But the killer made a mistake, and Mr. Edgeworth built his case around that to nab him. And this was 2 years ago? That put Mr. Edgeworth right in the spotlight and started the rumor mill. Rumors? About forged evidence? It was supposed to be all cleaned up with the transferal the other day. It was the last job he ever did. Detective Goodman, that is. Huh? What do you mean? Detective Goodman was the detective in charge of the SL9 incident, see? So, that switchblade knife... The victim took the knife out of the evidence locker himself? Alright, so let's actually do some examine. There's something sticking out here. Looks like a shirt. I guess it must be evident for a certain case. I wonder if Detective Gumshoe put this here. There you go, pal, making me out to be some kind of slob. I'm not responsible for the evidence here. That said, I bet that evidence locker was opened recently. How do you know? If you leave things hanging out like that, the evidence gets dirty or ripped. The guard checks on that kind of stuff and notifies the detective responsible. How many times have I had him breathing down my neck about some silly evidence? Sounds like Detective Gumshoe leaves evidence hanging out a lot, too. I bet he doesn't tuck his shirt under that trench coat, either. If you're going to talk behind someone's back, don't do it right in front of them, pal. Okay. This place is stuffed with evidence, stuffed with dreams. I'm not so sure about the dreams. Huh. It won't open. Did you really think it would? Hey, pal, our security's high-tech around here. Alright. These won't open. We know this. This is a car door. Wow, look at this big pile of junk in the corner. That looks like a car door. There's a pair of handcuffs attached to the frame. Maybe the guy they caught was some sort of escape artist and he got away. Hey, that's one of those human profiles for range testing. He's been shot square in the forehead. Better him than us. Dun 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 dun. Okay. Do the rest of our investigating over here. Some sort of bulky equipment is gathering dust here. What a sorry-looking fishing pole that is. Ah, that's my personal pole. I never did get around to using it. Wait, I've seen that somewhere before. That's what we used when we, ripped out a metal detector in the courtroom to be like, there's a bullet still in your shoulder. Suck metal detector. Right, pal, that's that metal detector. The one that led to the solving that case out on Gourd Lake, remember? Oh, right. Wow, that feels like it was ages ago. It was yesterday. And, I don't think I've seen this one before. Oh, that's a bug sweeper. I'm sure it'll come in handy in solving some case sooner or later. That cheap-looking box? You can't judge a person or a machine by their cover. You gotta look at their heart. That over there. Alright. Alright. So this door was open in the cutscene that Gumshoe showed us. This door was open, and now it is not. Well, what's this? Blood? It's a little worn, but there's definitely a handprint here. It looks like someone tried to wipe it off. Mr. Wright! What if there are other bloodstains left in the room? We should use her testing fluid to check it out. Yes, and we will do that. We'll do luminol. Look, this one's open, and the red indicator light above the door is still lit. That locker is coated with Detective Goodman's fingerprint. Detective Goodman's locker? Are you sure it's okay to leave it open like that? Well, it'd be hard to get it open again if we closed it. It's empty. They must have taken the contents elsewhere. Someone left a glove here, but only one. Oh, it's from the SL9 incident. Detective Gumshoe, maybe? There you go, pal, making me out to be some kind of absent-minded detective. That's evidence from the case, you know. You mean SL9? It does have a tag on it. Rubber glove. Rubber glove. Extremely thin rubber glove. Sus. Very sus. Very sus. Wow, someone must have broken something big to make all these pieces. Detective Gumshoe, perhaps? There you go, pal, making me out to be some kind of hooligan. That's apparently from the case. The case? The SL9 incident, pal. See the sticker on one of the pieces there? Another piece of SL9 evidence. Take a closer look. I wonder what shape these pieces were in before whatever it was broke. You want to try to put it back together? Ha! Good luck, pal. That's no job for amateurs. Why, I spent a good 3 hours on that before I had to give up. That's why I always carry around a tube of glue. Well, this piece looks like the bottom. Let's try putting the rest in place. Ooh, yay! This is fun. I love that. Alright. Big fan. Alright, so... rotate left, rotate right. Oh, okay. Okay. No. 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 Yes? No. Okay. That. Okay. That goes there. Yes. Okay. And then that one is... No. This one. What a weird... that one. That has that side shape. And then we got the round shape. Doesn't look quite... Yeah, okay. There's a piece missing. Huh? Well, I think we did it, but some of the pieces are missing. Yeah, I got that far in 2 minutes myself. The problem is finishing it. Were there some pieces stolen? I bet they were missing to begin with. Still, it doesn't look like the most stable kind of jar. I kind of understand how it got broken. Unstable jar. Jar piece back together from fragments found at the crime scene. A piece is missing. Okay. If you put these pieces together, it makes a jar. There are two things that bother me. One, why are some of the pieces missing? Two, doesn't it seem a little unstable? I wonder if it broke. I'll make sure to remember that next time I make a jar. What is a saw and paint doing here? Since the dawn of time, true art has always been a war against oppression. True art? I noticed that there's blue and yellow paint here. Perhaps we're witnessing the birthplace of the Blue Badger? Well, you might say this is my studio. Here, in the evidence room. Is this where you hang out when I can't find you? You're hanging out in the evidence room. Alright. Where's my luminol? Oh my god, I have so much evidence right now. Luminol! Aha! There's blood over here! Why am I getting a reaction here? There's no reason for the murderer to touch this spot if he fled out the door. This just might be something significant. Hey! That's some pretty amazing stuff you got there, pal! What, this? It's called luminol testing fluid. Where'd you get your hands on that? Huh? I'd like to get some too. I'll just borrow 50 bucks from the chief. Where do you get this, Emma? I always buy it by mail order. Well, I'd better jot this down on the floor plans. Whoa! There's a lot of blood on this floor. This is where he died. There's a lot of blood on this floor. That must have been one massive pool of blood. Never seen anything like it. I'm not a professional. What's your opinion, detective? Pale blue blood. Maybe Detective Goodman was actually an alien? This proves that something really happened in front of this locker. I'll make a note of it on the floor plans. Hey, if you didn't want my opinion, you shouldn't have asked. Alright, is there any other blood anywhere? We'll, just kind of skirt around. We know that that's one of them. Okay, probably wanted me to get that confirmed like that. I knew it! This is someone's right handprint! What? What's the matter, detective? This locker. It's mine! It's yours? Please! You have to help me when they come to take me away. Promise you'll testify I wouldn't harm a fly. You'll do that for me, won't you, pals? This is an important clue. I'll jot it down on the floor plans. I'm counting on you guys, believe me. You can't trust the police. What? But you're a detective. Hey, pal, look at the time. Was there something you needed to be going to? It's just that Mr. Edgeworth's inquiry committee should be letting out soon. I'm going to go give them my report for the day. It might help, you know. Report? You mean the note written on the back of that flyer? The one that says nothing but no problems? Hey, it's Mr. Edgeworth we're talking about. I'm sure he can use a report like this. I believe in him. Who needs enemies when you've got friends like Detective Gumshoe? I'm off, pal. Later. I should probably see what Edgeworth has to say, too. To the prosecutor's office! Excuse me, cowpoke. Upstairs! February 23rd, High Prosecutor's Office, room 1202. What the hell is this bellboy doing here? What? Guess. My apologies. Oh, it's you. Have we met somewhere? Huh? Mr. Edgeworth, I beg your leave. So long. Is Edgeworth here? There, standing by the window, a teacup in his hand. Oh. Right. He has the hotel bring him tea service? Mr. Edgeworth, you're back from the district prosecutor's office inquiry? I am. By the way, Detective Gumshoe was looking for you. Ah, yes. He brought me the latest information, it seems. Really? Was it helpful? Apparently, a new French restaurant is opening near here. I think he was trying to console me somehow. The real info is on the other side, Edgeworth. Poor Mr. Edgeworth. I think this whole thing is really taking a toll on him. So, how did the inquiry committee go? Actually, they decided to treat this as not as a case of concealing evidence, but as a communications error during the investigation. Concealing evidence? Yes, apparently there are some who believe that I concealed evidence. They gave me a warning. You were lucky this time. Again. Again? I've heard them say that so many times. Ever since that case 2 years ago. Are you okay for the trial tomorrow? Well, I'm still the presiding prosecuting attorney. However, something happened? They gave control of the investigation over to the police department. The police department? Yes. Any further investigation for this case will be directed by Chief of Police Gant. I can do nothing but wait for his results. I see. Why, I ask you? Why? All along, I've done only what I believe is right. I have nothing to be ashamed of. But still. Wow, I've never seen him this out of sorts. Alright. Present! We gotta talk to you about this damn ID card record list. Oh, right. I better check this now. As I was saying, What's this? A record of ID card usage. Edgeworth, you went into the evidence room that day, didn't you? Just before the incident occurred, no less. Yes, that's true. Oh, he did go in there. Well, why, Mr. Edgeworth? Please don't look at me like that. I was asked to go by Chief Gant, no less. The Chief of Police? He wanted evidence for a case that wrapped up half a year ago. He told me he wanted me to keep it here in the prosecutor's office. That's the screwdriver. That's the screwdriver from the first case. Or the second case. But it was solved, right? It would have to be if the evidence was already filed. The chief is never one to explain himself. In any case, on the day of the stabbings, I brought this back here. Can I ask what kind of case it was? I can't say. It really has nothing to do with the current case. Now I'm curious about this other case. I better make a note of it. Screwdriver! You should know what that is, Phoenix. Right? Unrelated evidence. Screwdriver added to the court record. Screwdriver. Evidence from a past case of Edgeworth brought back to his office by Gant's request. Stubborn as always. I told you this has nothing to do with the current case. Oh, I was talking to Phoenix Wright. Not I know. Alright, so... we gotta ask him... oh my god. I have 3 pages of evidence! So much evidence. Yeah, I was like, Phoenix. And I knew. And that's why I was like, Phoenix. Right? Because... in the back of my head, I was like, if Phoenix is lurking, they're gonna be like, I know what is. Yeah, I know. I was like, they're gonna be like, what? Let's see. Phoenix, indicator. Wait. That would be Gumshoe's locker, wouldn't it? This seems sus. Oh, she's gone. Oh, you know, actually, I could talk to him about... some of this stuff. I'm the prosecutor on this case. You don't expect me to sit here and discuss the case with you over a cup of tea. I'll pass on the tea. Just tell me about the case. Mr. Wright, Mr. Edgeworth just told you no in a very polite manner. Whose side are you on, anyway? Maybe if I just show him my best evidence, I can get some reaction. Maybe if I just show him my best evidence, I can get some reaction out of him. Alright. What's my best evidence? What was the ID card record? Let's see. What's my best evidence? The knife? All has to do with that case you were on. The SL9 incident. And some dark suspicion you were wrapped up in. You are the man who revived the worst memory of my life. I figured I'd be telling you about this sooner or later. He must be talking about his father's murder in that elevator. Okay, Edgeworth. Why don't you tell me about it? Tell me the truth. The SL9 incident was a heinous serial killing case. The head of the investigation was the deputy chief of police at the time, Damon Gant. That wacky old coot was involved in the case 2 years ago too, then. Hardcore shipwright in Edgeworth, right? Also, yeah, he was the freaking chief investigator. Oh my god. Why do we keep having these extremely high-ranking sus people? He was a top officer, and it was my first time working with him. I was nervous. Wow, you get nervous too, Mr. Edgeworth? What I want to know is why was a deputy chief of police on the investigation? In truth, I used slightly more extreme methods than normal. We were dealing with a vicious murderer. Can't trust an animate man with zip-zag bang. It's true. It's true. They're very untrustworthy. They're either pro-tags or antags, but they're usually antags. We were dealing with a vicious murderer. If I let him go, the blood would be on my hands. We won our guilty verdict, and the killer was executed. Wait, you didn't... Of course not. I didn't touch the evidence. Yes, I will do anything in my power to win a trial. However, I do have a code, and I follow it faithfully. By the way, Emma, the chief prosecutor wanted to know something. My sister? What? If you were still studying forensic science. Huh? Yes, of course. Why, just today, Mr. Wright and I were using this. Luminol testing fluid, Well then, you might have a use for this. Is that a fingerprint kit? Oh, shit. Hype. Fingerprint hype. Fingerprint hype. You might have a use for this. Aluminum powder for taking fingerprints. It's been chemically treated for better adhesion. For me? Are you sure? We are the enemy, you know. First question of a background character. Oh, side of good or evil. Final question. You see yourself as the main for your side. Or a sidekick to that side. Yep. I've no say in today's investigation. Do as you will. Edgeworth, I'm really... No need to thank me. Here, take your powder and these fingerprint files for everyone involved. Holy shit! Thanks! What about giving these to Detective Gumshoe as well? Fingerprinting set and fingerprint file received. Recovers fingerprints from handprints for comparison with fingerprint file. So we can now handprint the ones that are on the lockers. Let's get going. One last investigation. Right. I do seem to remember seeing a suspicious handprint somewhere. I actually have... So, I don't know that it's gonna... Edgeworth 110% done with these people messing with him. Yeah, no, he's like done. He's like, I'm done. So I don't know Because we can examine this. I don't think we can use the fingerprint stuff on this, but because this feels like a handprint to me, and I swear, like, even if it comes to nothing, the fact that that print is on there is driving me crazy. All right. We got handprints to identify. We can't be stopped. We won't be stopped. Oh, he's gone now. Nobody is standing between us and fingerprinting this room. Oh, okay. Is it empty? Our investigation turned up a suspicious handprint. Here in this blood on the detective evidence locker. Let's use the secret weapon we just borrowed. Hiccup. Right. Let's get started. First, choose a finger. A finger? Each finger leaves behind a slightly different imprint. So let's choose the finger that will have left behind the clearest print. I really can't tell the difference at a glance. Quit procrastinating and choose a finger. I'm gonna choose the thumb. The thumb looks great. Okay, now it's time to check for prints. Let me show you how it's done. Emma's starting to get that sparkle in her eyes. First, we sprinkle the aluminum powder around. Huh? How do you do that? With a button. It looks like that did the trick. The aluminum powder adheres completely to the print. Hi, Sophie. Oh, big fat baby. Once the powder is well spread, just blow it away. Just blow away the excess. Huh? How do I do that? With E. I don't know what that means. Imagine you're blowing out the candles on a birthday cake. Wow, that looks like fun. Might take some getting used to, though. It's fine. It won't go up your nose or anything. You just pour the powder on thick and blow away the extra. Those are the basics of fingerprinting, Mr. Wright. Guess I'd better give it a try. Oh, okay, it's Y. Ah, you did it! You found one! But this looks nothing like a fingerprint. Now that you mention it, I guess it doesn't. What does it mean? I think it means we're out of luck. Out of luck? The person who left this handprint must have worn gloves. Don't tell me we've been wasting our time here. Hey, calm down. That's just the way it goes sometimes with scientific investigations. But it does seem a shame. While we're at it, why don't we look for other prints? Other prints? Looking at the locker door again closely, it seems like there are fingerprints outside the bloody handprint as well. Let's see if we can find a clear print. Fingerprints outside the blood. Right here. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Whew. Aha! Need to get the edges. Whoosh. No, I didn't want to move on to a different finger. I hit B by accident. My bad. It's fine. It's fine. Now we can just like throw down all of the powder forever. Lots of powder. Lots of powder. Bam. Still managed to miss. All of it. Powder, 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 powder. Can't just hold the button down. I have to like click, 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 click. Ooh, there we go. Yay, a print so clear it's dazzling. Dazzling. Anyway, this print took a lot of effort to find. Let's match it up right away. So we're not done yet? This is quite a process. Well, there's no point in finding a fingerprint and not knowing who the owner is, right? I guess she's right. It's probably Gumshoe. This is his locker. Look at the fingerprint data we got from Mr. Edgeworth and point out the person you think left these prints. Huh? How am I supposed to know who it was? I could make a pretty good guess. The bloody handprint and the fingerprints are in different places, right? That means that the prints probably don't have anything to do with our case. So whose fingerprints will we most likely find on this locker? Doot. Boop. Ta-da! Aha! So these prints belong to Detective Gumshoe. Something wrong, Mr. Wright? You gave me this so what look. I guess that's probably because I was thinking, so what? Okay, so we came up with nothing this time, but there's always next time. Sometimes you hit, sometimes you miss. You gotta roll with the punches, Mr. Wright. Thanks for the sympathy. Wait, if I remember correctly, there was one other handprint in this room. Let's check it out. Yes. And that one should not have Gumshoe's fingerprints. This is where we got a luminol fluid reaction, right? Right, there was a handprint here. Okay, want to try using this? There go her eyes, sparkling again. Check it for prints. Okay, let's check for prints. That's the spirit. Oh, but I have to warn you about something first. What? The area with the blood was wiped away, right? We only ended up finding it using chemical means. Any prints in that area will have been wiped away too. Oh, right. So that means no prints. Would you say the probability of your hypothesis is high? Don't ask me. Anyway, we must try to find prints that weren't wiped away. Prints other than the ones left by the bloody hand. I mean, there would be a fingerprint on the door. Oh, I can just dust somewhere. Dust over here. Oh. No, it hasn't lit up yet. Okay. The vividness of that is like making it hard for me to look at the screen. Hi. Oh, Sophie. Okay. Oh, found something. There's something. Here we go. No, it was an accident. Crap. Because I hit B instead of hitting A, and that takes you out of it. I meant to hit Y, actually, and I hit B. Ugh. It's fine, it's fine, it's fine. Let's make sure we get everything with really good coverage. There we go. This one seems the closest, I think, but There's a little bit of a break in the whirl. That one. It's that one. Hey, these fingerprints, they... Whose are they? Whose? Is it someone I know? It's Officer Marshall. Huh? Officer Jake Marshall? Marshall's fingerprints added to the court record. Found on a bloody handprint left in the evidence room. The print had been wiped. That's gotta be a coincidence. He's not involved in the crime. Emma. This is decidedly different from Detective Gunshoe's prints. The luminol reaction. The blood and the fingerprints are in the same place. Oh. So we have Jake Marshall's fingerprints on a wiped bloodstain. Why would Officer Marshall? It looks like our investigation is finally turning up some results. I guess this is what you'd call decisive evidence. I don't believe it. To be continued. I'm worried that I've committed to several more hours by saying I'm going to finish this today. I'm a little concerned. Save your progress. Yes, please. I think what I'll do is... I don't know, though. That's a hard call. I don't know. I mean, it does. It's big. This is big. Okay. It's all right. Keep going. Trial former. Day 3. Keep going. We're not done. I'm going to take a break in like 30 minutes. Defendant lobby number 2. We're back at the district courthouse. So what do you think, Mr. Wright? I think the prosecution is as confused as we are. After all, the victim was murdered in 2 different places at the same time. And a different suspect was arrested at each of the crime scenes. Lana! Good morning, Mr. Wright. I apologize for yesterday. I was indisposed. I hope they didn't hold you too long for questioning. We just finished, actually. I'm used to all-nighters, though. So how'd it go? It's as Mr. Wright suspects. The police are clueless. I figured as much, so I struck a plea bargain. A plea bargain? What do you mean by that? We agreed that if I told them the truth behind this simultaneous murder, they wouldn't seek capital punishment. That's what I mean, Emma. But Lana, don't tell me you... Much to my regret. I'm as much in the dark as they are. Miss Skye. We found trace evidence of a certain person in the police department's evidence room. They belonged to Officer Jake Marshall. What kind of trace evidence? Blood-stained fingerprints, to be exact. That's the trump card I have up my sleeve today. You do understand what this means, don't you? In order to defend my sister, you're going to accuse Mr. Marshall? We have to play the cards we're dealt. Isn't that right, Miss Skye? Do what you have to do, Mr. Wright. Alright. It's 10 a.m. on February 24th. We are in District Courtroom number 9. Here we go again. It's trial time. Court is now in session for the trial of Miss Lana Skye. The defense is ready, Your Honor. The prosecution is... I'm afraid you'll have to clarify. It takes 30 minutes by car to reach the police department from the prosecutor's office. Yet the victim, Bruce Goodman, was slain at both places at the same time. But that's not physically possible, is it? What's more, I hear the victim from the evidence room just disappeared. Yes, and the body eventually reappeared in the trunk of Mr. Edgeworth's car. Wow, this is one messed up trial. One of my duties as prosecutor is to present impartial evidence. Today, I will present evidence relating to the murder at the police department. In so doing, I believe the way in which we should proceed will reveal itself. Now that's what sets Mr. Edgeworth apart. He sounds so on top of things, even though he doesn't know what's going on himself. And that's supposed to be an admirable trait? Very well, let the trial resume. On the day of the crime, what exactly transpired at the police department? Mr. Edgeworth, you may call your first witness of the day to the stand. For its first witness, the prosecution calls the suspect of the murder that occurred at the police department. The suspect? You mean the so-called murderer? Hoo boy. Things are getting wild from the get-go. Will the witness please state his name and occupation? Yes, sir, I am Officer Mike Meekins, sir. My occupation is, that would be murderer, sir. All of the ... So you're telling us you're a professional killer? Sir, it was me, sir. I'm the one who did it. I'll never kill anyone again, sir. You've got to believe me, sir. Actually, what we'd like to hear from you is, sir, I'm what you would call a part of a younger generation, sir. A person whose actions adults can't possibly comprehend. Please, Mr. Edgeworth, sir, help me, sir. Officer Meekins. Yes, sir. Give us your report of the crime. Consider that an order. Yes, sir, as you wish. After all, I am part of a generation that must be told what to do, sir. I can't keep telling him not to say the quiet part out loud, right? You can't fault him for a lack of enthusiasm. Crime report, sir. Although it's not my normal duty, I was assigned to guard the evidence room that day. I spotted a suspicious man on the security screen and rushed into the room. I was only doing what I was trained to do, sir. I was suddenly attacked. I fought for my life. Then I did it. After that, I passed out until another officer smacked me awake. So the victim, Detective Goodman, attacked you? Do unto others before they do unto you. That's the Meekins family motto, sir. I see. Then you fainted and a colleague helped you regain consciousness. Yes, sir. You knocked me upside the head, sir. Very well. The defense may begin its cross-examination. What I need here is more info to work with. That means we press. Water. Keep drinking water. Oh. It's not my normal duty. I was assigned to guard the evidence room that day. Mr. Meekins, you work in the General Affairs Department, do you not? Yes, sir. I am in charge of hiring new recruits, sir. Yikes. Now there's a scary thought. Evidence transferal was taking place on the day of the crime, which meant many officers were given special tasks not ordinarily performed. I was in charge of guarding the Blue Badger, sir. The Blue Badger? Yes, sir, the lovely police mascot created by the Chief of Detectives, sir. I was to ensure it wasn't broken during the transferal process. That was my sole mission for the day, sir. I see. Sounds like a very, important mission. After the award ceremony finished that day, there weren't so many people running around. Then I relocated the Blue Badger to the evidence room. Oh, so that's why you went to the evidence room. Tell us, what did you see when you got there? I spotted a suspicious person on the material and rushed into the room. In order to enter the evidence room, you need an ID card, am I correct? Precisely, sir. I have one right here around my neck. So then, your ID number should be listed on here, right? Is it not? There it is! I found it! This is the one right here! Could you please read us the number? Yes, sir! It's 4989596! That's my number, sir! I see, huh? But the number 4989596 is shown as being used twice. Please explain, witness. It's no real mystery, sir. The first time is when I relocated the Blue Badger to the evidence room. And the second time is when I went to go get him after everything settled down. I see. So it was during that second time when... Yes, sir, that was when I spotted the man on the security screen. Data added to the ID card record. I need to look at that. Alright. I'm not actually gonna present yet. I'm just looking, because I want to see. Alright, so... According to this, he went in... Like, literally the whoever Goodman person, quote-unquote, was... Went in at the same time as Meekins. Or it was very close. Because it was the same minute. Like... It was the same minute. It was very suspicious. So you were attacked. Can you please tell us exactly what happened to you? It was a knife, sir, a knife! Detective Goodman pulled a knife on you? What happened then? Well, with me charging in on him like that, he looked as surprised as I was. You aren't exactly the kind of person who someone would want to run into. That's when I reacted, sir. I swung my arms like an octopus, struggling to detain him. That's how I got this gash on my hand. Maybe if you just kept your cool, your hand wouldn't be... When I saw the blood trickling down my arm, I panicked. I grabbed the man by his collar. I fought for my life. Then I did it. Doesn't tell me anything. What exactly do you mean when you say you did it? I know I don't look the type, but I'm really into Kung Fu films, sir. The man let his guard down for just an instant, so I snatched his knife from him. You took his knife? I spun him around and performed a disarming maneuver. I made sure to close my eyes like a man. Oh, I see. He must have been desperate. The next thing I knew, his white coat was drenched in a sea of my blood, and then the next thing I knew... Yes? He punched me right in my face, sir! After that, I passed out, until another officer smacked me awake. About what time did you regain consciousness? No offense, sir, but how am I supposed to know that I was unconscious? Oh, right. According to the report from the officer that woke up the witness, it was about 5:30. He hit me right in the head, too. I woke up crying tears of pain. That's nice. I mean, it's nice that you recovered, that is. When I came around, though, I made sure to finish my mission, sir. Your mission? Yes, sir, the Blue Badger, sir. I returned him to the entrance before things got out of hand. Well, we can all rest easy now. I believe we now have a fairly accurate picture of what happened. Yes, Your Honor. Only one thing remains unclear. Was the man this officer murdered really the victim? He's got a point. Yes, Officer Meekins. With regard to that, sir. Take a look at this. It was sent to my jail cell. Chief Gant delivered it to me just this morning, sir. The chief? Delivered it? What is that? A videotape? Yes, sir, that's absolutely right, sir. A videotape, sir. It contains footage from the security camera in the evidence room. What? But I specifically asked if there was such a tape, and was told it had been mistakenly erased. That's quite a mistake. I just do what I'm told, sir. It's the only thing I'm really good at. Looks like communication with the police department is as good as ever. Well then, let's have a look. Show us the video of you murdering the victim. Oh, please stop using that word, murder, sir. It scares me. A video of a real murder. Just what are we getting ourselves into? Content warning. So he's in there. There's, yeah, okay. So he attacks him. Do we actually see the moment? I don't think we do. We don't actually see the moment where he stabs him. No, we don't. He's gone, and the guy's knocked out. We don't see the body in that either. But the question is, how did he get out of there? Like, where did he go? Well, I believe we're all thinking the same thing. How can we deal with these unsettling feelings stirred within us? What the hell was that wriggling piece of plywood? Sir, that is the pride and joy of the entire criminal affairs department, sir. Edward's gonna snap. Edward is so done. It's a blue badger, sir! Why am I not surprised? This isn't going smoothly. Video from the security camera placed in the evidence room. Yes, well, anyway. This tape seems to prove that the witness did indeed encounter someone in the evidence room, and some sort of activity did take place. Your Honor, instead of relying on clearly incomplete footage, the witness's testimony will suffice. Is that all right with you, Officer Meekins? Yes, sir! As you wish, sir! Mystery Man! His face can't be clearly seen in the video. But there's no question that the other person was Detective Goodman, sir. I mean, he opened the locker, which requires Detective Goodman's fingerprint to do. The locker he opened is unquestionably Detective Goodman's locker, sir. So it must be him. No one else could have unlocked it. I mean, that's true. What's this about a fingerprint? Each detective has been given a locker equipped with a fingerprint-activated lock. These locks ensure that each locker can only be opened by the detective it belongs to. Intriguing. That would mean the victim at the crime scene would have to have been Detective Goodman. Very well then. The defense may begin its cross-examination. I don't know where this cross-examination will lead. But everything begins with contradictions. That's where I have to start. Alright, let's do some press. Let's do some pressing. We need to get some more information. His face can't be clearly seen in the video. Tell me, were you able to get a good look at him? At the face of the man who attacked you with a knife. Sir, if you must label people as having seen or not seen the man's face, I believe I would be classified as the latter. The latter? But you were standing right in front of him, were you not? More to the point, you are the person who fought him, aren't you? Oh, yes, sir, but I didn't get a clear look at his face, sir. I'm not the kind of guy who looks directly at people when they're talking with them, you see? Yeah, that's a good trait for a police officer. Still, I'm sure it was him. I bet my badge on it. There's no question the other person was Detective Goodman, sir. But you don't know that for sure, do you? You never actually saw Detective Goodman's face. Well, I suppose you might say that. That is, if you must label people as having seen or not seen, since his face can't be identified in the video, only you can verify it. Why is everyone looking at me? If I had to label your stares as disturbing or... Meekins! Having been shown a questionable video at best, we are not in the best of moods. Now please be more certain when you testify. Yes, sir. You claimed the man who brandished a knife on you was Bruce Goodman. Tell us why you are positive it was him. I mean, he opened the locker, which required Detective Goodman's fingerprint to do. About these lockers. Is there no other way to open them? No, sir. I myself tried all kinds of methods in the past. They only respond to registered fingerprints, sir. I wonder what kind of methods he's tried. If the man opened the locker's lock, which only responds to its registered fingerprints, then he must be the person the locker was assigned to. Exactly my point, sir. And this too. The locker he opened is unquestionably Detective Goodman's locker, sir. How do you know that information? I've heard rumors, sir, from people in the know, sir. People in the know? The workers in the department cafeteria, sir, they keep me informed. They also listen to my romantic troubles, sir. For the record, the opened locker did indeed belong to Detective Goodman. I verified this information through a more reliable source. So the victim opened the locker with his own fingerprint. So it must be him. No one else could have unlocked it. Alright. However, the most important detail is not shown in this video, the man's face. Sir, if I may say something, sir. Please do. After all, you are the one being examined. I don't understand why the man's face is so important in this case, sir. I mean, it was his hand that opened the fingerprint lock. And it was his hand that tried to thrust his knife into my body, sir. My unsettled state can testify enough to this, sir. Yes, you have a point. The footage doesn't lie. That is... unless the defense can find a problem with it. Mr. Wright, let's check the court record again. Is there a problem with the security video? I think there is a problem. Court record. Let's see this video. Wait. Hold on. Alright, so that is his hand. There's got to be something wrong with it. Wait. I saw it. The first locker. The first locker is changed. So somebody got into the first locker. I know what the problem... Yep. There's a problem. Regarding the video contained on this tape. There is one thing in particular that seems rather strange. Strange? This contradiction leads to the possibility that the man may not have been Detective Goodman. What? This video contains such a contradiction? Interesting. Your Honor, I have a proposal. Yes, Mr. Edgeworth. I propose we have the defense point out to us this alleged contradiction in the video. Okay, so Edgeworth is the prosecuting attorney on this case. He's the head prosecutor in charge or whatever. But, he's helping us. He's totally helping us. Alright. He would want me to point it out. Very well. Proposal accepted. Let us further inspect this piece of evidence. I will now play the security tape. Mr. Wright, please show us this contradiction you speak of. I have to point out a problem in the video? It's the first time I've ever had to do that. You can do it, Mr. Wright. It's set up so you can fast forward, rewind, or pause. Just take a good look and be sure to point out the right thing. Please don't play it too many times. I can't stand watching this video. How did this guy ever become a police officer? Now then, Mr. Wright, please enlighten us. Where is the contradiction that indicates the man may not be Detective Goodman? Alright. Da 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 da. The thing that's strange about this video has got to be this. Hmm? Yes, that is strange. Something certainly seems unnatural about that. What could it mean? Sorry to interrupt, Mr. Wright, but you seem to have forgotten the point of this exercise. The point? What you are looking for is one thing and one thing only. Something that indicates the man may not be Detective Goodman. That is! That locker was opened. Whew. I almost walked right into the defense's trap. I'll place him under arrest, sir! Rats. I need to slow down and tackle these things one piece at a time. Now what do I do? No, we play the video again. Every time you point your finger, somebody gets hurt. Says the one pointing his finger at us. Alright. No, because that doesn't say that he's not Detective Goodman. That's the thing, right? Like, the thing that says he's not Detective Goodman is the fact that locker was opened. How many times did he get stabbed or cut again? He only got stabbed once. See, because this locker is fine. Someone's obviously been in this locker. He got blood on his jacket. Did the corpse have that blood? I don't know. Where's the court record? Let's see here. Indicator light lights up when it's open. That second photo that she had with the trunk and the muffler, that's not in the court record. Let's see. Rewind. Was the light already on? Oh, wait. Wait. Is that a thing? I want to rewind. Hold on. We can actually go back a little bit further. Yes! Nice catch! Very nicely done. The thing that's strange about this video has got to be this. Officer Meekins. Sir, do you mean me, sir? As I understand it, the locker apparatus works like this. When you grab the handle, a sensor reads your fingerprint. If it's a match, the light turns on and the lock is released. Who has he got hanging in his locker? According to my very limited experience, that's the way I understand it, sir. If so, then something is seriously wrong with this picture. When the victim reaches for the handle to open the locker. Let's rewind to a little earlier. Here, notice the light? What's this? It's already lit. Hey, stop it, you two. Do you have his hair in your claw? Come here. What are you doing? Don't be mean. Sophus. Precisely my point, Your Honor. The locker was already open before the victim grabbed that handle. Order! Order! What is the meaning of this? It's very simple, Your Honor. The locker wasn't locked on the day of the crime. But the locker locks are controlled by an electronic system. When a door is shut, a sensor is triggered. And the locker is automatically locked. Oh, I know. It must have broken down. Of course, I'm not an expert in this. That's not likely, Your Honor. The sensor would detect and report any malfunction. Oh well, just goes to show novices should keep their mouths shut. So then, Mr. Wright, do you have an explanation? Me, Your Honor? Yes. Why wasn't the locker locked? Me, Your Honor? Yes, well, you see, this isn't exactly my field. What do you think, Miss Scientific Investigator? Huh? Oh, maybe something like jammed the system sensor. Something jammed the sensor? Say, there's something else that seems out of place in this video. Yeah, I thought so too. There's gotta be another clue somewhere in this footage. Very well, let's inspect the video once more. The locker wasn't locked. Mr. Wright, please point out the cause for this. Oh, geez. I'm gonna hear this music in my nightmares. I swear to God. Maybe it was because of this glove? It didn't shut all the way because of this glove? Please watch closely. This is the continuation of the part I showed you earlier. Oh, thank you for not having the music in this moment. Blessed silence. Rubber blocking the sensor. I think not even that. I think just positioned so that it would, so that the, positioned so the door wouldn't shut all the way. What's this? Something white fell out of the locker. But sir, it's been my experience that things fall out of when doors are open. I often fall out and roll great distances when I open my car door, sir. We can't be sure that item was completely inside the locker to begin with. What do you mean? The sensor triggers the lock when the door is shut. What if something was inserted, say, between the sensor and the door? Inserted? This white thing wasn't inside the locker. It was stuck between the door and the sensor. No, stop it. Oh, I understand now, sir. It's just like my tie. 2 out of 3 times it gets stuck in the door when I get out of my patrol vehicle, sir. Instead of the door closing, my tie chokes me. But the object would have to be extremely thin to fit in the door. Not only that, it would also have to block electrical currents. It would need to be an insulator. It's a rubber glove. Yes, an insulator. But at the crime scene, there just might have been something that fits the description. But sir, by insulator, you don't mean... I think I finally got this figured out. Very well. Will the defense please present the relevant evidence? What was this insulator that was stuck in the locker door? La 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 la. Rubber glove. Bam. I found this near the locker. A thin rubber glove. But we can't be sure that was in the victim's locker. It has a tag that says SL9 incident. The video seems to depict the victim opening the locker. But that isn't the case. The lit lamp attests to this. On the day of the crime, even I could have opened that locker. Is this not so, Officer Meekins? Sir, it would appear so, sir. Order, order, order! So are we to believe, then, that the victim, whom this witness stabbed in the evidence room, was not Detective Goodman? Do not be misled, Your Honor. What do you mean, Mr. Edgeworth? The defense has merely demonstrated that possibility and nothing more. The victim in the video was indeed Bruce Goodman. The prosecution will offer one more testimony to prove this. Oh, are they going to put Marshall on the stand? And then we're going to have to be like, here's your fingerprints. What? Officer Meekins, please testify about this. Sir. Me, sir. I'm not sure what you're referring to, sir. ... Oh, you mean that, sir? Of course, sir. Is this a joke? Very well, begin your testimony. We're going to take a break in just a second, by the way. I have to be very diligent about taking my breaks if I'm going to go way over. We're going to get this testimony first. There's one other thing that proves the man was Detective Goodman, sir. To enter the evidence room, one must use their ID card. When an ID card is used, there's a record of it. Oh, hi. It's Chris Ricks. Thanks for the raid. Hi, people. How you doing? We're here trying to be... Oh, Gambino Gaming Network. Thanks for the follow. Love it. Hi, everybody. Super exciting. Hi. So, hi, I'm Mizzy. We're in the middle of a trial. And this is Sophie, who is very fat and very asleep. So, hi, everybody. Super exciting. Where am I? Yes, okay. So, at the time of the crime, the detective had used his card. Except that the card couldn't have been used because it was in the parking garage. Because we picked it up. I have the ID card record right here, Your Honor. There has to be more than one of those cards. Because, well, and first of all, we don't know who that first person is either. I still think that that's an admin card. The ID used at 514 is that of the victim. Yes, welcome. Thanks for coming and hanging out with me. I super appreciate that. Just before the crime? Yes, without a doubt, this is the victim's ID. However, one thing does strike me as unusual. Several hundred cases should have been due for transferal. Why were there so few people using this room? This particular evidence room is only used for storing certain special cases. Special cases? Yes, what were you playing? Please let me know. Also, I'm going to write your name down to make sure I'm going to go give you a follow later. Absolutely. Extremely violent cases involving police staff. Just hearing that makes my hair stand on end. Me too, although it doesn't make much of a difference. There were only a few cases up for transferal there, and most were cleared up by noon. Oh, Elden Ring. I have considered Elden Ring. I have been watching people play Souls-likes for many, many years. I also know that if I try to do that, it would be like a disaster. Because I would just like, I would die a lot. I would die a lot. A lot! Okay. Right. I see. Now let us move on to the cross-examination. Oh yeah, okay, we have to cross-examine you now. Where are we at? There's one other thing that proves the man was Detective Goodman, sir. Okay, tell me. So, unlike your earlier testimony, you believe this to be rock solid, do you? Yes, sir. Solid as stone, sir. Everyone's looking at a wreck. Oh yeah, no, super train wreck. 100%. If my hand wasn't wrapped in bandages, I'd even give the V for victory sign, sir. Couldn't he just use his right hand for that? Let's hear him out fully. As we've seen, one never knows what he might say until the very last second. Like, we're going to press on every single thing that you say, because all of the information that you need to give me. And we're going to use the ID card, and we're going to be like, hey, no, we found this. Far away. Absolutely not. Let's use our ID card. Is that card hanging from your neck, one of these ID cards? Yes, sir, this card right next to my cuff, sir. I keep it here so I won't ever forget it. But what if someone were to steal it from you, keeping it out in the open like that? ... Maybe I shouldn't wear it around my neck. Remember when I said 2 out of 3 times my tie gets stuck when I get out of my car? Well, the remaining time it's my ID card that gets stuck. Meekins! Oh, instead of the door closing, my ID card chokes me. Maybe I should just leave this one alone. At any rate, each police officer only has one ID card. Both the police department and the prosecutor's office can attest to this. Please proceed with your testimony. When an ID card is used, there's a record of it. That is correct. We have that record. Let it be noted that this is the record the witness referred to. Let me see. Yes, that would be it. Detective Goodman. What's the matter? According to this, Mr. Edgeworth, your name is on here. That is correct. So it is, Your Honor. Edgeworth. Not that prosecutor again. Hey, maybe he's behind all this, being a prosecutor. He could hide the evidence. Mommy, does that mean that Blue a murderer? Shh, don't stare at him. You got the wrong color, kid. It would seem the inquiry committee will want to speak with you again today. I have nothing to be ashamed of regarding my actions or their consequences. For now, let us continue with the cross-examination. Poor Mr. Edgeworth. It must be so difficult for him. At the time of the crime, the detective had used his card. Earlier, I believe you testified that when you asked the man to show his ID card, he pulled a knife on you. Yes, sir. He didn't show me any ID card, sir. Don't you think that's odd? I mean, if he had his ID card, all he had to do was show it to you. His career has been pretty not great since you got your lawyer license. Look, the only reason we got our lawyer license in the first place is because he stood up for us at the end of 3rd grade when we were on trial in the class trial. So, if he had just left well enough alone, then we wouldn't have become an attorney in the first place. Actually, no. The reason we became an attorney is because we tried to talk to him, and he wouldn't talk to us, so we literally became an attorney to force him to talk to us. So it's Edgeworth's fault that we're an attorney. I'm just gonna put that out there. There wouldn't be any reason to draw a knife. ... Maybe he just panicked. Everything stems from contradiction. Let's point them out. Mr. Wright, what do you think? I'm confused. What? The problem with this ID card testimony is far too obvious. It's not like Edgeworth to miss something like this. You're thinking too hard about it. Come on, let's show them what we got. It's one of the things that proves Enter the evidence room. One must use our ID card. When ID card is used, there's a record of it. At the time of the crime, the detective had used his card. Alright. Wait one moment, Officer Meekins. I'm not good at waiting, sir. I have the victim's ID card right here. I found it at the crime scene. That makes sense. When I say crime scene, I'm not referring to the evidence room at the police department. I mean the other crime scene. The underground parking lot at the prosecutor's office. ... Your Honor, I have one more piece of evidence to present. It's a very important clue regarding the victim's ID card. Lost item report? It's only half complete. But it shows that Detective Goodman had lost something on the day of the crime. Something important enough to fill out this report. Let me guess, you believe this something to be his ID card, right? I can't say for sure, but there is a high probability. On the day of the crime, Detective Goodman was not carrying his card. Order, order. Actually, so now what does this all mean? Okay, so it means Phoenix is not exactly right. Phoenix Wright is not exactly correct. Excuse me. That wasn't Goodman that went into the evidence room. And we know this. We're pretty sure we know this anyway. Goodman was carrying his card. Or else, why would we have found it at the prosecutor's office? Because that's where the body was. Unless the person who stole his card dropped it in the garage. But it wasn't Goodman that was in the evidence room. Because Goodman is not going to attack Officer Meekins with a knife. He doesn't have any reason to do that. It can only mean one thing. It doesn't even require much thought. The man Officer Meekins encountered in the evidence room was not Detective Goodman, but rather the man who stole his ID card. Order, order, order! Does the prosecution have a response? ... I have only one thing to say to the defense. Question mark. Bravo, Mr. Wright. Bravo! Allow me to summarize the defense's argument. At 5:15 p.m. on the day of the crime, the man in the evidence room Officer Meekins encountered was not Detective Goodman. There are two grounds to support this. First, the locker in the evidence room was already unlocked. Second, the victim lost his ID card. Am I correct so far, Mr. Wright? Okay, so Edgeworth is gonna be like, well then, you can't say that your defendant, that you can't say that your client didn't kill Mr. Goodman because Mr. Goodman was definitely in the garage then. Yes? What's he up to? That being the case, we must inevitably arrive at a single conclusion. If the victim in this video is a fake, then the murder in the evidence room is also fake. In other words, the security camera does not show the instant of the murder. That is correct. It does not, and we pointed that out. That is... Well, I guess that's right. Is something wrong, Mr. Wright? Only moments ago, you seemed content to be pointing your finger around. This isn't going to end well. Well, it seems you finally realized exactly what you've gone to such lengths to prove. Explain yourself, Mr. Edgeworth. The defense has already done the explaining for me. The victim in this video is a fake, which means a murder did not take place at the police station at 5:15 on the day of the crime. So the real crime could only take place at one location, the underground parking lot at the prosecutor's office. The murderer being Miss Lana Skye, the defendant. The evidence is compelling. A trustworthy witness. She's not trustworthy? Since when is that witness trustworthy? Observe the moment the defendant used the murder weapon. Ugh! Which witness is this? Because it's not that woman, because she is not trustworthy. I knew that testimony was way too shabby. It was all a trap from the beginning. The activity in the evidence room still leaves many questions unanswered. Who exactly was the victim Officer Meekins encountered? And where did this person disappear to? However, this trial's purpose is to examine only the murder of Detective Goodman. Just so, Your Honor. Mr. Wright, you have to do something, or else Lana... What do I do? How am I supposed to get myself out of this mess? No, the answer is never to wait and see what happens. We don't do that here. Never. Even if we have no idea what we're objecting to, we're going to object anyway. One moment, Your Honor. What now, Mr. Wright? Don't tell me you're objecting to what you've just proven. Of course not. But I almost walked right into the prosecution's trap. What are you talking about? This cross-examination has proven one thing and one thing only. The security video did not show the actual murder. Are we going to get to where it shows that somebody opened that locker? Because it's infuriating me. Please. Please let me tell them that somebody opened that locker and that Marshall's fingerprints were on that locker. Please let me do that game. It's driving me crazy. However, it cannot be said that this is unrelated to the murder in the parking lot. Specifically, large amounts of blood traces were found in the evidence room. ... The defense demands further examination into the truth of the matter. Mr. Edgeworth? Yes, Your Honor. If this court were to examine this further, other witnesses will be necessary. Is the prosecution prepared? I'm sorry, Your Honor. The prosecution considered the incident at the police department to be unrelated. We have not prepared any other witnesses for this incident. This just might be my chance. Time to call a certain Texas Ranger to the stand. Mr. Wright, do you mean... Your Honor, the defense would like to request a specific witness. Oh? Whom do you have in mind? Someone we have reason to believe knows the truth. The truth behind the activities that took place in the evidence room. The prosecution requests to hear this person's name before deciding whether or not to comply. Very well then, Mr. Wright. This person whom you would have testify. What is his or her name? Officer Jake Marshall. Why him? I can't let Edgeworth know everything just yet. He's in charge of the evidence room. I feel we should hear what he has to say. The prosecution agrees to the defense's request. Since he was responsible for guarding the room, we should hear his testimony. Fortunately, he works in the police department. We shouldn't need longer than 20 minutes to prepare. Very well. The court will take a 30-minute recess while the witness is subpoenaed. Will the prosecution please prepare the witness during this time? We will, Your Honor. Court is now in recess. Oh. Well, that one wasn't too bad. February 24th, 11:32 a.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby Number 2. Alright. I have to take a break. I'm over. I take a break every hour and a half because I have to get more water. The water is empty. And with all of this reading, I have to drink so many. I have to drink all of the water. So, I'm going to run some ads and we're going to hang out and I will be back in 5 minutes. So get your stretchies in and we'll be back in 5 minutes.